ready, let's start walking. Nice slow walk. Nancy Goodrich is here. Thanks, folks. Watch your step. We'll try to keep things brief here. We know it's a cold day, and we truly appreciate everyone really coming out to this. And I think everyone's still a little shocked and shell-shocked at really what it's done and how it affects our community, and it really shows the faithful have come here, and that's what's important. And I think that's what's really what they did here, and we can't forget what this building really has meant to us. And as time goes on, I guess the memories will unravel more and more out of all of us.
It means a lot to us.
But it means really so much for everyone. And you know, I guess I could start to say, really, that I was one of the luckiest guys in the world, really, to have the key to that building. Because, folks, as we know, that was one awesome, beautiful building. Can we get a round of applause? I remember coming down here in the mornings, and really, it was unbelievable. I don't know how. You know, I try to invite people down on a Sunday morning. I'd open up all the doors in that building, and all the light would come in. It was like a cathedral inside, and it was absolutely an awesome experience to look up and to see really what these people did long ago, 1955. It was obviously before I was born. But there's people been calling.
That was pretty funny.
But
yeah.
Again, I think that, and we can go on with a very, very long speech, but really this building meant something to us individually and what we did. We all remember something about it. Whether we came here for a show, or we had a date, or we met a famous actor here, and it really is sort of a personal thing that really touched everyone in the community, and how sad it really was. I don't think you'd ever, I guess New York Times put it when it first came out that it was one of the most beautiful theaters in the world, and I don't doubt that, and a lot of people can't doubt that. What we're asking, and I think what we're going to be seeing here is, where does the community go from here? How do we move forward? And we have a little bit of a grieving period, but I think that we all know that we do want these grounds, and we do want to come and have the experience again that people had. And I know it was closed for a long time, but you know, it's easy to kick something that's not going or that's down, or you could get down on it. But you know, it was the get up and go of a lot of people that when we had the volunteers and we got things going, and it was exciting. It was the human experience, and I think that that's what really, you know, could be lacking in today's society. That, you know, kids and the people just don't come together and do things like that anymore. You know, where the rich guy can be with a poor guy, or this guy can remember something, and when we were all there, we all experienced it together. And I think that that's really a human element that I think that we want to preserve here. We want to be known for, because the theater really did help put us on the map and help us bring together, and the outpouring all over the world of the very, very sad and tragic event. But we have to somehow, as we lick the wounds, to turn it into something positive. And I think that we could stay with it. We could stay with our mayor, who unfortunately could not be here. And I think she sent a Representative Chris Pia. You wanted to go up and say something on behalf of the town, we'll let you do that right now. Just press the button.
Good afternoon, everybody. Eddie, thank you for putting this together on behalf of the town and the mayor. Thank you. The mayor is out of town. She had the mayor is out of town. She had a pre-planned family commitment, but she asked me to say a few words on her behalf and the rest of the council. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Pia, and I am the 1st District Councilman in Stratford. It's where we're standing today happens to lie in my district. So I just wanted to say, I'm 32 years old. I never had the opportunity to see anything here. Frankly, my generation, all I grew up knowing was that it was an old boarded up building. And I had the unique opportunity just over a year ago after I got elected to go inside for the first time, and that was the one and only time, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I want to thank a couple of people that made that happen. We have a really unique opportunity, as Ed just said, to work as a town and a community to come together to make this thing even better going forward. And if history teaches us anything, my favorite subject my whole life, if history teaches us anything, you learn from the past, but you move forward in the future with the best opportunities that the history can shine on, because it educates you. That's the way I've always looked at life, professional life and personal life, and there's no reason we shouldn't apply that to here. All right? You have my commitment, as well as the mayor's and the rest of the town council, that this ground, this area, will continue to be, we will commit to continue to make this for the benefit of Stratford, for the performing arts and entertainment. That is our commitment. So on behalf of all of us, we want to work together to get this thing where it needs to be. We want everybody's input. Okay, the mayor is going to be putting out information. Actually, some information went out yesterday. I'd be happy to, if you have any questions about how to sign up for a mailing list, to be kept in the loop about what's going on, speak to me afterwards. But we're going to do this together, because that's the way we're going to move this town forward together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. I wish I could come out with a million Shakespeare quotes right now, and I know that you all know them and have them. We used to go over here to Art's Diner over here. I don't know if you remember Art's over here in Art's Corner, and every time I walk in, he goes, "Please, no more Shakespeare quotes." But yet all day he would just quote Shakespeare, and he didn't even know it. Up in Thin Air, to Charmed Life, he had all these quotes. He wasn't even that's how far Shakespeare goes. But the one quote that I would have, I really want to have Matt Catalano say a few words, because he worked so hard with everybody. He's been heartbroken. But Matt passed his prologue, and I think that's what we want this thing to be. What happened here is going to be something that we're going to build on in the future, and it was really exciting. I tell you, I called up Walt and Chris today. They came right down as far as volunteers and parking. Louder. Walt and Chris came in as far as parking the cars. They knew exactly what to do, and it was like old times. So right now, I'd like to turn the megaphone over to Matt Catalano. We can say a few words. He and his father and his family have been dedicated to the theater for years.
I want to know who gave Goodrich a bullhorn. Listen, there are no words, and I've thought long and hard about what I might say. We'll never replace what was gone, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet, people. This cannot be the last act for our town. The only responsible response to this tragedy is to build a theater worthy of a Stratford in America, in the world. Stratford in the world. All right? We need a professional stage, and we need a student stage, And I'm here to tell you right now that I will personally undertake the fundraising that will replace the one-of-a-kind Timex sundial. Thank you.
Thanks, folks. Again, if there's anyone else out here, I see there's anybody. I see Phil Young. There's Rick Forget. There's other officials here. If anybody here that feels as though they want to come up to say some words of encouragement or what's going on, if not, then that's fine. If anybody else has really anything to say or add, you know, we can certainly do that really at this moment. I know it's an emotional time for Matt. He was good enough to come down. It was hard enough for him to do it because he's put his heart and soul really into everything. Yes, sir. David Chess. David, you want to say something? Real brief.
Tell him to be real brief. Only Matt. What's the Shakespeare?
Charge her by the word.
What's the Shakespeare quote for that? So I just want to say a few words. We put together a group called Stratford Forward. Speak into the mic.
Yeah, right in. Yeah, put them off right up there. Yeah.
Okay. We put together a group called Stratford Forward. It's also was called Team Stratford. We only started about a year ago. We've made an incredible impact already. But our job is to coalesce all of your voices into a vision for Stratford. So we begin to move forward. We have a subgroup that's working with all the officials to get our vision embedded into what new Stratford Theater will be. And I just want to tell you that we're here. If you'd like to play a role, if you want to be part of this, I have sign-up sheets, and please. And for us, it's not just Stratford Theater. It's Center Street. It's our wall down in Lordship that keeps flooding. It's a whole vision for the town. It's not one piece. It's the whole piece. It's how do you create a place that we all want to live in, that our kids want to come back to, and it's not just one thing. It's incredible to me how the theater, which has been closed for over 30 years, is such an embedded part of our psyche. It's how we see ourselves. But that was part of a bigger vision of who we were in the world. And that's what we need to rekindle. We needed that when people want to move to the area, that this is where they want to settle. And ultimately, our home values go up. So I'll ask you, please, if you're interested in being a part of our organization, I'll hand these out. We're very much in support of building a new theater and making this the place we all want it to be. Thank you. Was that short enough?
I actually wanted to go on a little longer, but that's okay.
Eddie, Joe.
I could say that, Joe. Anybody else that wanted to come up and say a few words on behalf? Kind words. Thanks, Joe. Joe Gretzko.
He knows what it is.
I need to be shorter. Okay. Few things.
I saw the governor on Thursday and made our case to him. He understood, and he didn't promise, but he said the door would be open, so it was a good first step. We also have a tourism caucus up at Hartford, and they had their first meeting of the session on Thursday, and I made our case for them. And then the delegation here in Stratford put together a bill, thanks to Kevin Kelly in the back here. Kevin put a bill in every year to try to get money for the Shakespeare. So thanks to Kevin and the rest of us rallying around him, we have a bill in to get $5 million in bonding money to be able to allocate it and have it sitting there waiting for Stratford once we decide what the future of the theater is going to be. So it's going to be more than $5 million, but we have to take it in pieces. So that's the update as far as yesterday goes. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Joe. We appreciate all the effort and all the outpouring and everyone here. Does anyone else want to add anything?
Eddie, I do.
Okay, just a couple of minutes. Just a very brief. No, go ahead.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daryl.
You got to put your grill right.
Is this any better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears, for I have not come to praise Caesar, I have come to bury him. The good of men is oft interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men, come I to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me, yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. I come not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. Then what cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment thou art shed to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me, for my heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me. Thank you.
Wow, I have definitely a new respect for you. Definitely have a new respect for you. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. At this moment, anyone else that would care to say a few things? Going once. Going twice. Okay, where are we? In the back.
My name is Trudy Vizina. I'm a Stratford resident. My name is Trudy Vizina. I'm a Stratford resident. I have memories like most of you people. Can't hear you. Speak up. Attending performances at the Shakespeare Theater, and the last performance I was able to see Christopher Plummer when he performed at this gala event that they had, and I also was able to get an editorial of the Connecticut Post on this, and I ushered at this event. And I was able to see Christopher walk and thank few people. They provided them. They spoke at the old Stratford Theater, and he was phenomenal. And they had Ed Ashner also there at the old Stratford Theater. Those are happy memories. This is what is important for everyone. Stratford Library, as you know, is such a gem to the town of Stratford. They are going to record your voices, videos, they want photos, they want to keep these memories alive. This is a flyer here that I have some flyers here, but if you go to the Stratford Library, the first date is Monday on January 28th between 3 and 5, and it follows with other dates. So keep supporting, and please go to the library and bring those memories there. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much for that number. Okay, yeah, we have Peter. You're welcome.
I just wanted to say I've lived in Stratford since before the theater was built. But I didn't realize this is a program from 1958. Both my mother-in-law and father-in-law acted here. Wow. I didn't know that in 1958 my wife would also move to Stratford, and we lived in Lordship. When the opportunity arose, the taxes drove us out of Lordship, but we were able to buy a house across from Shakespeare Theater. And I can remember standing on the Widow's Walk on that morning of the 13th, and my heart was in my hands. So we have a loss, but we can move forward. And I know that there are a lot of good people here that will help do that. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's really what it's all about.
Okay, my name is Kara Flockhart, and I'm a mom. I'm not an actress or anything. But I was inspired to write some words about what this place meant to me, and I'm going to treat this as a poetry slam kind of thing. Okay. Some people have narratives, some people have moments. Some people have sonnets spoken loudly in the dark. Music, songs, dance, recollections of what happened here, the joys given and received. It was poetry. There were plays, costumes, fame, misfortune, sadness, tragedy. These are the people, these are the faces of the people that I love. At the taming of the shrew, on a midsummer's night, just 2 summers ago here. 2 summers ago. Some people have narratives, some people have moments, some people have sonnets, spoken loudly in the dark. It made us inspired. We went home tired. A few summers before, I took my daughter to see Romeo and Juliet for their 10 p.m. performance. She was only 10 years old. It was a late summer night underneath the stars on the banks of the Housatonic. It was her first time seeing Shakespeare. What better intro in life to Shakespeare at the site of the very Shakespeare Theater in our hometown of Stratford, Connecticut. I've got more.
Take your time.
Like I said, I don't know anybody here. Okay. Okay. At midnight, when we arrived home, she insisted on taking out my large volume of Shakespeare and reading it. The door to literature and the arts had flung wide open to her that night. Some people have narratives, some people have moments, some people have sonnets spoken loudly in the dark. Tears shed, hopeful feelings devastated. No words, no dance, no music. Blank pages, hopes crumbled, charred pieces of ash. A fire sparked, huge flames in the air. I wasn't sure what order to write those last 3 lines in. A space made sacred, sad faces gathering in the spaces where many times long ago acting and dancing took place. This is my vein, my heart beating, my recollection of the happy faces of the people I love in a very special place. With gratitude, I thank the spirits of the Shakespeare Theater. Some people have narratives, some people have moments, some people have sonnets spoken loudly in the dark.
Oh, that was beautiful. Who can argue with that? That was Johnny Corvino, Success Village, come on, get up here.
John, you got to press the button. You got to talk into it, John.
Hello, how's that?
Good. Nice. Okay. You're really close. You're really close up there.
I just want to say I have a radio show on WPKN.
That'd be cool.
And
That'd be cool.
if any people have something that we want to get out there, I have memories of this place that Christopher Plummer, specifically to Julius Caesar, I saw him do that.
Wow.
And we used to have coffee and donuts.
Wow.
So, to be or not to be, if you could please go, even if it's a big question. I got a pleasure.
Well, thank you, Johnny. Okay, we have someone else here. This is beautiful. Isn't this great? God, I love this. God, it was perfect.
Johnny's doing good. Yes, you have to press the button and you got to speak. Got to get it real close to you.
All right, I'm loud enough.
We're really close.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Keep it there.
Oh, when I was very little, I remember the theater being built. So that was
Closer,
a long
closer.
time ago.
There you go.
Anyway, Katharine Hepburn was going to be performing, and we lived in Lordship, and a lot of kids in my family, and my mother got us all in, come on, quick, let's go. And she drove down, what is this called?
Bremer Road?
Shore Road. And Katharine Hepburn used to stay in the cottage that was there over the water. So as we approached, a woman was crossing, and it was Katharine Hepburn, and my mother was so thrilled. She stopped, and Katharine gave a big smile, and she was really pink, is what I remember. She used to swim a lot, even in the winter, in her home in Fenwick, up near Old Lyme. So we got to see her, and that was kind of a thrill. I've seen many productions here through school years and other productions. And one that really sticks out in my mind, I don't know if anyone else was here, but it was Rodney Dangerfield. He was fantastic. Joke after joke. It just everybody was laughing through the whole night. It was so much fun. But two other memories I had was, I remember we were all quite well behaved, students, because we were kind of afraid of our parents back then, I guess, or getting in detention, whatever it was. But I remember two things really stick out in my mind. One was when the buses arrived from New York with the students. They were rowdy. And I was just amazed that kids acted like that, because we didn't in Stratford. We didn't, generally. The other thing was, when we saw a play, I couldn't remember, we had great teachers that actually had us explain a play, because if you don't have it explained to you, you're not going to understand Shakespeare. They did wonderful jobs, they had the schedules down. We would read a play and then we would go see it, so we knew what was going on, and we all ended up loving it. But at one of the plays, one of the actors that was right in front of us, and we had maybe front row seats. He had, I would say, active saliva glands. So every time he spoke, it was shooting across the stage, and we were afraid we were going to get hit. So it was really hard to concentrate on the play.
Thank you. You know, that happens, I think, that happens a lot at the Rolling Stones concerts. All the other things that it does now. Everyone, Mr. J. Sibley Law would like to have a few words. How about a hug? Okay, that's enough.
Many of us have spent a lot of time out here on the grounds of the Shakespeare Theater. My children grew up out here during the festival that we had for years, that Matt Catalano then ran for years after that. And for them, this is a home, and I think for many of you, this is a home, a heart home, if you will. As a town, we have tended to work against each other, but we have a unique opportunity to work together. And my sense is that there's a desire across all parties in town to work together to see something really wonderful be restored here. So I encourage you to get involved. I'll reiterate what David Chess had said. You can get involved with Stratford Forward at stratfordforward.org. But let me encourage you to get involved with whatever group that you are involved with, and encourage the folks, the leaders in those organizations to work together with the other groups in town so that we as one voice and as one group of Stratford citizens can rebuild this together.
Very inspiring, very inspiring. Thank you, Sibley. Oh, an envelope. This is for... Okay. Okay.
But I wrote some. You so kind as to hold that you did.
Oui, madame.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
you can read it. I'll just.
Thank you. My name is Betty Jane Schiller, and I'm a former resident of Stratford. I grew up in Stratford, have many loving memories here, and my sister-in-law and her family grew up in Stratford also. I'd like to read something to you that I composed this past week in the wake of this incredible tragedy that has just left me very, very shaken. Dear members of the Stratford Arts Commission, numb, we watched in disbelief at the roaring magnitude of the fire that destroyed our beloved Shakespeare Theater. This final curtain call was a heartbreaking tragedy beyond measure. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured. Dedicated teams of Stratford Fire and Emergency personnel, supported by many companies from surrounding towns, worked exhaustively to contain the fire and ensure families in the immediate area were safe. We are immensely grateful for their impressive, professional, and caring efforts. As others have shared their memories, I too worked as an usher and as a member of the Bunnell High School Concert Choir. Our annual Christmas concerts were held at the theater. All our high school English classes attended every magnificent production. In the 6 years I worked at the Stratford Library, I had the honor and pleasure of meeting many of the Shakespeare Company actors and actresses, including James Earl Jones and Jane Alexander, who stopped by one evening to look at our expansive Shakespearean collection. Macbeth was one of my favorite productions, and I recall the actor's booming voice looming large over the exquisitely appointed stage. Teams of dedicated directors, set and costume designers, production assistants, theater coachers, all part of his historical legacy. Lavish costumes and impressive set designs were the hallmark of every production. Often before a production, my parents would enjoy a picnic on the scenic grounds watching the boys sail by. Years later, the quiet presence of the shuttered theater served as a majestic backdrop for Shakespearean productions, concerts, and picnics. A few years ago, I attended an open house where we viewed the silent interior. So memorable was this experience, I took several pictures of a few stunning props and costumes in pristine condition that were mysteriously found tucked away, I believe, in a staging area. I would be interested in knowing if those memorabilia items were recovered and secured. From the generous benefactors, the architects, residents, patrons of the arts, all ages, from near and far, all so very proud and fortunate to be a part of the hometown cast and crew of the legacy of this historic theater. From our shared memories, and with a renewed effort, the American Shakespeare Festival Theater will rise again and take its revered place on this lovely shore. Perhaps a performing arts center with special programs dedicated to Shakespeare studies and performance. A museum of collected memorabilia and photographs, including patron reflections on the original theater, might be considered. This final curtain call has tugged on our heartstrings. Let the healing begin. Let our memories sustain us as we move forward to build a new stage for the present and future cast of characters who will breathe life, passion, commitment, and dedication to honor the legacy of this American Shakespeare Theater. I would be happy, honored, and humbled to help work on a new vision for this sacred ground. And I leave you with this quote from Macbeth. It's just in part. That but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. From Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 7. Thank you.
Thank you. You stick around. We're going to need you for that committee. And thank you so much.
I know it's very cold, so I'm going to keep this very short and sweet. Also, I can never top the great Julius Caesar quote anyway. But my name is Laura. I live in Lordship. You may or may not believe this, but this is true. I actually moved to Stratford because of the Shakespeare Theater, despite the fact that I've never been inside it, never seen a show there. That's the pull that Shakespeare has on my psyche, on a lot of people I know, especially for those of you who were fortunate enough to grow up with it. This is a very meaningful day. So I'm obviously devastated, as are we all, but thrilled at the prospect of starting something new here, continuing theater and Shakespeare in Stratford. And to that note, I just want to let you all know that after a brief hiatus, we are planning on having another Shakespeare Festival on the grounds this year with a tentative date, which is a great way to enjoy beer and raise money for this space and for the Mighty Quinn Foundation, who does wonderful work here. Yes, Mighty Quinn, give it up, absolutely. We have a tentative date set for September 7th, and you all will hear about it once we get that in the works. So there are many ways to support this space, whether it be by donating money, drinking beer, getting on a committee, and most importantly, just keeping keeping this space in your hearts and making sure that your friends, neighbors, legislators, the country, no one forgets how important this is to us. Keep it in our hearts and minds and work diligently in whatever manner you can to assure that there is a bright future for Shakespeare in Stratford. Thank you so much.
Tremendous. Thank you very much. Yes, we will. We will be staying abreast of all this stuff. Nick Gloss, Nick, he works with the Mighty Quinn, the Stratford Academy. Nick.
It's an argument I have a lot. I am Nick Gloss. I'm a Stratfordite.
There you go.
Am I loud enough?
Yes.
Yeah. I work for the Mighty Quinn Foundation. We were founded in 2012 and we've been on the ground since 2013. This will be our 6th summer here. We're based out of the White House right over there. We run a Shakespeare Academy. It's a 6-week intensive and kids from all over the globe come just to participate in it. We have adjuncts from Yale and Juilliard and NYU that come and teach. We also currently run in the Spotlight, which is a youth musical theater program that was started by Stratford Community Services in partnership with Sterling House. And when there wasn't the funding to keep it going through the town, we took it on. I'm actually the producer of that program. And we have a new play development lab that we run out of the White House year-round. If you want to check us out on Facebook, on our website, it's mightyquinnfoundation.org. We're here. The building might be gone for now, but we're going to be here. We're staying. We're going to make sure that the arms stay on the ground. And if anyone would like to be involved, just hit us up on Facebook. We love having volunteers because this work is important and we need help to do it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is really working out today. I didn't know how to do it, but I really wanted to get the audience and the people involved, the people speaking and telling their past histories of it and how they felt about it. And this is really, does anybody else want to have something?
Hi, you may not know me. I'm from Bridgeport, but I come out here to the Shakespeare Theater with my mother when we moved to Bridgeport. And I tell you, when I walked into that theater, my heart stopped. It was so beautiful inside. I couldn't believe it. The night that this happened, my friend came over to my house, knocked on the door, and said, "Charlene, Shakespeare is gone." I said, "What?" She said, "Shakespeare is gone." When I seen it in the paper the next day, I couldn't believe it. Because I also came out here with my school. I do live, like I said, in Bridgeport. I have a cousin that lives out here in Stratford. I do a lot of my shopping out here in Stratford because I love Stratford. That's town. And if I could, I would love to live out here. So I may be Bridgeport bound, but my heart is with Stratford. And I sign up to help, and whatever needs to be done, I'm there for you. I'm there. Thank you, Stratford. You have the support of me. Thank you.
No, thank you. That was beautiful. That was so nice, and we have to remember really the building, and it's not really going to hit us, and it hasn't really hit me on really how it really enriched people's lives, and how awesome really the place was, and how many people have gone there and had such great memories. And I think that we could say that a lot of people like to use the word failure. I could no, they succeeded. They truly succeeded when they put this here, and it was a different era, but it really did capture the imagination. It brought people together from not only across the town, across the country, and it gave us all a connection really to who we are. So we really owe a great debt of gratitude. Thank you, Bob, for these people that put that. Anybody else? Yeah, and I see. I see Mike Patry over there, and I know that a lot of our other workers over there that I've had personal experiences. My cousins and everybody are working. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Don't forget that Stratford-on-Avon is the sister city to Stratford, and I know right now they can feel what you're feeling. So let's get this building back up and going.
You are the chairman of the committee. We have to, remember Joe Patria. Well, can we ever forget about Joe Patria? Because we had never gone through that building that hadn't seen Joe. And I don't even want to know what he's thinking right now, because a lot of people are heartbroken. He's probably one of the most heartbroken because he's probably been there since the place was built, and he was a great guy. He did a lot of good things for people. It was really nice when I was a kid working there. And hearts go out to guys like Joe for what had happened here. Is there anyone else that really would want to say anything? Come right up. Yeah, that's okay. You
Hi everybody. My name is Mark Lee. I'm an actor here. I live in North Carolina. My husband moved here about 10 years ago for the Shakespeare Theater, and we are the ones that live on Elm Street with the never-ending build of the house. I apologize that it's taken so long. We've run into a lot of problems, but we're moving in 3 weeks. Louder. Okay, I will project. And we've restored most of it. I've tried my best. What didn't burn. And to see this happen last Sunday, we were pretty devastated. I want you to know that living in New York City and then coming here, this is a very special town. I have traveled all over the world. I've done umpteen tours of this country. This is you've got a gem here. There's a lot of history in this town. There's a lot of arts in this town. And I just want you to know that, because it's not just growing up here knowing it. It's somebody who's never has lived in Connecticut before and never been to a small town. And it's really lovely, and I'm going to do my best to help you restore this beautiful theater so I can stand on the stage. Nice to meet you all, and the house will be built very soon.
Thank you so much, Rosa. Thank you so much. And there you go. There you have it. And we don't realize it, that people from New York would come in, and this was just a beautiful place. I mean, look at the campus that we have here. We really have sort of a campus atmosphere. It's a beautiful, just a beautiful piece of land with the White House and the parking, and people would go out and get something. It's really basically a slice of Americana, and you know, again, it's a real shocker. It's a heartbreaker. But thank you all for coming out. Unless someone has another story that they want to share with us, or you could just kind of mingle and talk, or whatever that you want to do. 14.5 acres.
Beautiful acres.
Beautiful acres.
2 years ago I was here when they had to.
Thank you, folks, for coming.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank for all this. And thank the building. And thank the people that put it here, and all the memories and people that work here. That's who we should be.
Thank you. Perfect. Perfect. Thanks.